Adam, did you have a question?
It was kind of answered by other questions about locations. You know, I've been to other shows in the past where it's been more of a one-night guerrilla style installation, and then I've also seen some of the gallery shows. So I was wondering maybe if you had a preference for one over the other, or if you had other maybe more guerrilla style locations in mind. Any ambitions towards braving some dangerous industrial part of town? Again. Or you know, whatever is in the future. Christy, I think, has cool ideas about real estate incorporation. I mean, with people needing to attract visitors and all. So
you would get more editing there.
Well, I feel like I am. Do you guys prefer one of these over the other? Like having a gallery show that's up for say a month, as opposed to having the one night, like this is it kind of show.
Such a different experience. Both are so different that I think, like personally, I'll just say I love things about each experience. Like the gallery show is nice because it is a lot of labor, and so it's nice that it can just be up for a month, let's say, and you don't have to worry about it. But then it is fun to create our space, because that's really, I mean, it's the art and it's what we do, but it's the space too, and that becomes part of the show. And that's fun too. That's just that's a lot of work. Yeah. Because then you got to go back the next day, maybe, and you're tired and you have to pull it all down again.
I thought the space that the really raw one with the East Nashville one, the Riverside Village, I thought that was cool because there had never been art in there before. So, you know, when you went in there, you weren't thinking about what had been in there before. You're like, whoa, this is a whole new experience. And our show was kind of embodied that. But, you know, there's pros and cons. Like the gallery shows are sort of easier in a way because you don't have to deal with like fixing the walls so much, and that sometimes they'll hang your show or help you hang your show. But maybe they have, you know, we've actually been pretty lucky. Everyone we've worked with hasn't tried to overly like control our show. They've really sort of gotten what we are and what we do, but potentially that could happen. But I don't know, there's a certain satisfaction if you make something that's totally yours. That's pretty neat.
I guess it's an extension of like kind of what Christy was mentioning, because some of these raw spaces are actually spaces that are maybe for lease or for rent and they're just vacant, and we ask if we can just have a one-night show there. So it is kind of an extension of what Christy was mentioning about real estate, just on a different level, I guess.
I'm more curious of your opinion of the local art scene as opposed to like the national art scene. I think has all been very vital in the young, almost underground in some points. So you really got, I think, your ear to what's current and what's shaking. But I'm really curious about your opinions of Nashville as opposed to LA or Chicago or New York, or what it's really shaking.
Nashville is a wonderful community. There's a lot of support. It's probably possible for us to do what we do because so many people are willing to help and excited when they hear that people are doing something, so they'll offer their support or their help in any way they can. So far Nashville's been great to us. Awesome.
Yeah, don't go to some other city. Stay here. Here. Please don't go to New York.
I think Nashville's catching on too. There's more like the art crawls and all that.
Well, some of our broader goals, I guess I'll just talk about our goals. Like some of our broader goals would be to actually show in LA or New York and have like a one-night show and just like do it there. But I don't know, as we've kind of developed communities here, we actually wanted to really kind of reach, maybe get more of a following here, and then as we grow to neighboring states as opposed to bigger cities, like LA and New York, where we're really the minority in a sense, you know, and kind of start to work out that way.
Is it important for you guys as a group to be all female, or have you discussed including male artists to exhibit with you?
Such a good question.
Yeah,
That's rich.
It just kind of happened.
Never come up yet?
It sort of has.
Yeah.
Well, we were writing our guest artist statement. We're like, would we include that? Or like, I don't know. I guess so, but then, I don't know. It just sort of fell to the wayside.
I think it had to be a pretty special guy.
I think like we had tried to prepare for that question, and I think we had sort of. It really wasn't like designed to be all female, but it kind of worked out that way, and it's nice. It's nice for us. I think.
Good question.
I guess this applies to a little bit of all of your work, particularly Jenny's work. I feel like, having seen it in galleries, the way you present your work in particular seems like some people make work and present it in a way where, look at this is a focus, this is something you should look at and take from, but I feel like your work in particular, oftentimes the way it's presented, it seems more like you're sharing with the audience, like when you had it in a display case or when you have your books that you flip through, it seems like you haven't, created a piece of work that you're now presenting to the world, but you're saying, this is where I'm at in my work right now. I'd like you to, share this, or I'd like to share this with you. What do you feel like your relationship is with the viewer?
I guess I create intimate stuff, intimate and personal, and I do enjoy people really getting up close to it and touching it and feeling it and seeing it. Is that intimate and small? Usually, like I really do want somebody to get close to it, see it, and kind of maybe get the emotions that I'm giving off and feel that for a while too, some warmth.
In the Riverside Village show, did we show a slide of the little, I remember we showed a slide of the cabinet, the little installation piece that you did, but she actually utilized like a framed cabinet space that had a door, and she strung different objects, and that's again kind of a good example of like how personal she is with the viewer, but it's still a very intricate, delicate thing. And she kind of utilizes the space too to kind of bring that forward as well. Kind of present it, these little delicate things. Like the display case too. We used, she actually used her it was a display case that was in the Riverside Village space, and she decided to just put her prints in there. And that slide was shown too. That's a good example.
I was going to ask what you guys think is your most successful show and why, and then your least successful show and why.
Success.
Success is defined by
Whatever worked for you.
Well, we sold the most at our lowest turnout show, which is interesting. That was the Riverside Village. So if success is based on selling work, I guess that would be a successful show.
I remember, was it Cannery Row or the big, one of the first ones we did together? Marathon, sorry. That was just a lot of fun. Like, it was hard work. But it felt like there were a lot of people there, and what I noticed was that people stayed a long time. And the space was huge, and it was wonderful, and it felt like electric in there. So to me, that felt really successful. There's a lot of conversation and a lot of interest in people's work.
That's the nice thing about like 24-hour, like, or one-night shows, like just work being up for 24 hours. It's like you only have one opportunity to see it, so you get all these people who are really excited, and they're kind of on the same wavelength. And that's where a lot of that energy comes from. And if you have a gallery show, people may come and go, but a lot of the engaging with the viewer is kind of interrupted by just your absence, really. So
Yeah, that's true.
I have a question for Janet.
yeah.